Today we worked on one-step equations, which are multiplication, using division, the inverse operation. So the inverse of multiplication is division. We used addition and subtraction, subtraction and addition, and now we're on to our third operation, using the inverse of our fourth operation, division. Now, we used a property for those other problems, and it's pretty much the same thing. The division property of equality states that if you divide one side of an equation by a number, you divide the other side by the same number. That way, we're able to isolate our variable. Now, there's a couple of terms I wanted to go over before we move on, because you may hear me say these, and we've had this in the past. Actually, it's just one term, and it is the term coefficient. We learned this last semester. The coefficient is the number that's multiplied to the variable. So, for example, if I have 3x, this is my coefficient. If I have 9y, this is my coefficient. So it's the number that's multiplied to the variable. Now, another thing, I have a couple of abbreviated words for multiplication and division. We need to remember that multiplication can be seen in different ways. This is multiplication. This is the same as saying 3 times p, or 3 times p, okay? But this is how we write it. Now for division, there's different ways to write division. Now we could write 3 goes into p, but the one that we are going to be seeing a lot during this unit is p divided by 3. P divided by 3 is p divided by 3. We need to make sure we remember that, because now we're going to start using our steps to help us with a problem that happens to be multiplication. So, of course, the first step is to isolate the variable using what? Your inverse operation. Of course, we're working with multiplication, so it's going to be division. We're going to be using that division property to help isolate that variable. We do this on both sides of the equation, or equal sign, because we need the balance. And then we solve for x, x being our variable. Of course, our variable can be p, y, whatever, but we're going to use the generic term x. So let's take a look here. Now, one thing that is not in our steps is that I tell you to build that wall around your equal sign. This way you know to go and do both sides, and it keeps it separate. So let's take a quick look. We have 8x. 8 times x. We need to divide. So look at what I did was I'm isolating my variable. So what I do is I divide by 8. That's called isolating the variable, because 8 divided by 8 equals 1. Now I end up with 1x. 1x is just x, 1x. Now I have to do it on this side of the equation and on this side, because we need balance. 80 divided by 8, and if you remember your basic math facts, it is 10. I'm going to plug it into the original problem. So grab a different color pen, and I'm going to say 8 times, we said 10, equals 80. 8 times 10 is 80. 80 equals 80. And if you need to, you can always write your variable, your very original problem, before plugging in. This way you can see how it works all the way through. It worked. Let's go ahead and try another problem. That was with a basic fact. You will have other problems that are not basic facts. So let's check this one out. Again, I'm going to start with my wall. This way it's around my equal sign, and I can separate both sides. I isolate the variable, which is right here, by dividing. by 15 because that is multiplying. These two cancel each other out. I end up with 1x, which just means x equals. And now I divide. Now, this one does not easily divide in, so what I have to do is guess and check. So I'm going to try to multiply 15 times 7. Oh, lo and behold, that was a good guess because I did some skip counting. It is 7. So I just actually checked my work here, so we're good to go. Now, here's one that won't divide in equally, so we're going to practice doing some division. So I'm going to first isolate on both sides. That cancels each other out. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so I end up with just 1x. Now I'm going to do my division. So 4 goes into 30 7 times. Now I ended up with a fractional amount, not just a remainder because we're in 6th grade now. Fractional amount. Well, guess what? I can simplify so it actually equals 7 1/2. But can I also turn this into a decimal because we've been working with decimals? Well, let's give it a shot. I'm going to use a different color so that we can see. So here's 4 goes into 30. It's still, of course, 7. That's not going to change. But here's what we did before, if you recall. We annex a 0 and we put a decimal in, and then we can keep going. Now, that decimal is really important because what I need to do is move it up here. Okay, it stays in the dividend and goes up. So 4 goes into 20 now rather than having a 2 left over. And it goes into it 5 times. Well, guess what? 7 5/10 equals 7 1/2. Those are exactly the same numbers. Okay, so let's take a look at a word problem. Now, this word problem, you need to stop and write it down, but I will read it to you. Let's start by just making sure we understand the problem. Paige has $6.50. She wants to buy pencils that cost 50 cents each. How many pencils can she buy? Okay, so I read it. I know she has $6.50. Paige has a total of $6.50. So actually, it would equal $6.50. That's starting to put my equation together. She wants to buy pencils, and the pencils cost 50 cents each. I'm going to write that down here. Pencils cost 50 cents. Now I have a decimal here, so I'm going to change this to a decimal as well. Now this here, that's my x because I don't know. X is always the unknown. How many, or my variable, how many pencils can she buy? So X is pencils that she can buy. All right, so now can I put my problem together? Well, I said that she had this amount, so I'm going to go like this. She has $6.50. That's what it equals. We know that they cost 50 cents. This is this. So I could write 50 hundredths or 5 tenths. I could put a 0 in front. I could leave it as is. Those are all equal. But where's my variable? Oh, that's it. I'm going to put it right here. Now, can I solve? Absolutely, even with a decimal as my coefficient. Ooh, there's that word. So this helps to build the wall around equal, so I maintain both sides. I divide and I divide. Now, everybody gets intimidated by this, but you shouldn't. Right here, that cancels each other out, and I end up with x all by itself. Now I need to solve. So we did this last semester as well. I am going to start by not having a decimal in my divisor. So I move it one space. However many spaces I move my decimal in my divisor to make it a whole number, I do the same thing in my dividend. And then I bring my decimal straight up. Okay? Now, 5 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract. Oh, now I go over. Where's my number? It's right here. I bring down. Now I say 5 goes into 15. Don't go back up here. Go here, 15. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 5. Hey, look, I ended up with no remainder. How many pencils can she buy? Paige can buy 13 pencils. And there you have it.